The 812th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com using promo code MMA SGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits.
Heidi ho, degenerinos. Welcome to episode 812 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to me, this guy right here, who went 11-3 last night. Why did I go 11-3 at the UFC? Because the UFC was very, very chalky. There were three dogs last night. Not the dog. I picked one dog. He did not come through, but only three dogs came through. So I went 11-3. I'm up money on the year now. I'm up $43 in the year. And more importantly, my co-host lost money, so I'm ahead of him now because he is back in the red where he belongs. So this goes out to me. What's my name again? Blasto Seppa, Jeff Fox. My co-host is the one and only Daniel Gabrielin. Don't worry if he got beat on UFC last night, because this is where he really shines. Non-UFC events is where he really shines. So, and this is seems to be everyone's favorite non-UFC event, the PFL. PFL have the big boys this week, light heavyweights and heavyweights. You want to talk UFC first? Anything from last night jump out at you?
No, I want to shout out Blasto Seppo though, because he won too.
Good. My namesake.
We had a big KSW event this weekend where I hit every single. Well, no, I take that back. I hit 4 out of my 5 picks, including 2 underdogs. The only one I botched is Eddie freaking Hall beating.
No, he won. I haven't watched.
He beat Pujanowski in 30 seconds.
God.
He picked him up and threw him. It was the
way.
wildest thing I've ever seen.
Okay.
A couple of people in the Discord asked me, is Eddie Hall good? Like, should we take this as he's good? Or is he 60 pounds bigger than him? And that maybe matters a little bit. And I don't know the answer, but Pujanowski looked like he wanted no part of his strength. So I don't know what to do with that. He fights in a division that doesn't exist in almost any promotion.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was weird.
Japan,
I think
will take him.
Yeah, I think some people KSW will keep taking him now too.
For
free
sure.
Fights. But a couple of people in the Discord had Eddie Hall, so shout out to them. But it was a very profitable KSW night, thanks to the 2 underdogs and sweeping the rest of the board. And I think we went 10-4 overall on our outside of the UFC picks for 3 units. For 3 units, which is a pretty good night.
Yeah, I just watched the fight. In the amount of time Gumby was talking, I watched the whole fight on. Yeah, that's crazy. He rocked him on the feet. It wasn't just
sort of, but it was a weird. It was a weird punch too, though. So I don't know if he's good or not. I don't. I don't want to take away from him. Good.
Isn't he 42 at this point? I think 40. I think.
I mean, he's got a lot of things in his body that are not natural, though. So I don't think he ages like other people.
No, that's true. That's true. I was going to say it doesn't matter over there, but yes, it matters for the aging of your body. Yeah. So it's good. Gumby, of course, had to change the.
I just want to make sure people know I got some things right too. Hey, I got my lock right too, which you did not get last week.
I did not get my lock, nor my dog, nor my prop right. Gumby, Gumby got Onama right, and he had half of his Hungry Man John, but you had to.
The 275
decision, didn't you?
Man, he looked really good in the first round, though. He dropped him. He dropped Randy Brown.
Yeah.
I didn't actually go back and look at the scorecards. Did you happen to see if they gave it to Dalby?
No, I didn't see scorecards.
While you're doing your first ad read, I'm gonna for sure find that out.
All right, let's do it. It's a quick one though, Gumby. Okay. I'm just telling everyone, please support SGPN's free content by taking a second to give us 5 stars and subscribe on everywhere. On Spotify, that would be the 5-star spot. On YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you can give us a rating and or review, that would help us out greatly. Keep the free content ship running into your orifices, and that's what you want. So enough UFC. We will be talking UFC again on Wednesday. They are in Des Moines.
They split on Dalby and Brown. 2 judges had Brown, 1 had Dalby.
Okay. Yeah, Brown. If Brown's gonna turn up the heat like he did last night, it's gonna be interesting.
I think he had to. I think that's the thing about Dalby. Yeah. I picked Dalby because I was like, he turns up the heat, and I don't know if Brown's ready for it. So maybe that just activated something in Brown that makes him a little bit better.
Makes him a dog, a beast, a whatever else Dana White says.
Savage.
a savage. How did PFL? Oh, PFL didn't run last week, right? So we've already talked about week 3. Yeah.
We were working Octagon, Cage Warriors,
right.
and KSW.
KSW. Right. All right. PFL 2025 World Tournament First Round 4 is the catchy title for this week. They're still at Universal Studios in Florida, Orlando, Florida. If you want to catch the event, 9 fights this week. It's light heavyweights and heavyweights. 7 p.m. start time. Thursday again. They're bouncing all around, but I'm sure that's up to ESPN. It's on ESPN 2. All right, so we're doing heavyweights today. Only no alternate fight, I assume, is why we're short a fight here. Thoughts on the heavyweight class?
Yeah, I believe Babley was originally supposed to fight somebody else. And Nascimento, I think, was in the alt bout. So now Nascimento fighting Babley. It's an interesting set of the old and the new. Because on one hand you got Moldavsky and Tim Johnson, Oleg Popov. Those are guys who like PFL always runs out there. Went Vassell, but then like they also went and signed Alexandr Romanov. And did this Bilostenniy guy? Did he fight in PFL before? I feel like he didn't.
I think he's debuting. Let me check the old.
He's either debuting or he's pretty close. And then like
no, he's 2-0 actually. He's fought twice.
Okay. I don't remember those fights at all. I had to go back and
watch.
Want
me to tell you who he fought? Does it matter to you who he fought? He fought
sure.
Terrell Fortune. We know him, and Blago Ivanov. So he fought.
He's actually fought Fortune twice too. If I'm not mistaken, he fought him on a different regional promotion.
Yeah, you're right.
Or maybe
he lost to him at Bellator. Yeah, regional promotion, Bellator.
Regional promotion. Yeah.
He lost that via DQ, and then he won the rematch.
Yeah. I remember the DQ. I remember the rematch less, but it was going his way anyway. And then they signed Nascimento too. So it's like kind of a fun mixture here of like, oh, would this number 17 ranked guy in the UFC win a PFL tournament? That's a fun question.
Yeah. Anyone missing? Anyone standing out? Like, oh.
Francis Ngannou
should be in this weight class.
Francis Ngannou.
Yes,
yeah,
it's true.
They own the fight rights to Francis Ngannou and have a heavyweight tournament without him in it.
Very good point.
Outside of that, no, it's the usual smattering of guys they always have in here.
Yeah. Should Eddie Hall be in this tournament, Gumby?
Yes, probably.
Could we get him in quickly
they could have offered Corey Anderson a spot in either of these divisions. He'd have fought for either of them.
Oh, that's right. He was one of the guys that was complaining about them though, right? So they're
correct. And technically they released Vadim Nemkov too, right? Like I don't think they have him under contract anymore. He would have been great for either of these two tournaments too. But like I don't think he's under contract anymore.
Yeah. All right. Let's dive into some PFL, shall we? We do have odds. Odds have dropped. Gumby has seen them, so we're not playing the guessing game. He can let us know, obviously, if the odds are out of whack in his eyes. We're starting things off with all these will be the quarterfinal, aka first round bouts. 8 men in the tournament. We're starting off with Rodrigo Nascimento. He is from Brazil. Abraham Babley is from England. 3 5-minute rounds if they need it. It's heavyweight, so they may not need it. Let's break her down. Tell you about Babley. He's the one and only. He's 5-1 with 3 knockouts. This is his debut. Wait a minute. This isn't his debut. I have him listed as his debut and 2-1 in PFL. So I don't think those both.
I've seen him fight in PFL, so I know he's not making.
It's not his debut. 2-1 in PFL, 1-0 in Bellator. So I think it was his late night when he did this. He did lose his last bout. He's 3 years younger than Nascimento, plus 135. Zicomiya. Yogi Bear, because that's what he looks like. 11-3 with 1 no contest, 2 knockouts, 6 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. This is his debut. Is it short notice? That's what I couldn't find the exact date.
I mean, I think he technically was in an alt bout anyway. So if it's short notice for him, it's short notice for Babley too, because he had a different opponent.
Yeah, because Tapology only has the Babley fight listed as canceled, so that's why I wasn't sure.
But then they don't have an alt bout listed at all, so I'm sure he was in an alt bout.
Yeah, you would have thought so. Okay, he's lost 2 straight. Before that, he won 3 straight. 4-3 with 1 no contest in UFC. 1 no in Contender Series. Another guy, old guy who was somehow on Contender Series. 2012 Pro MMA debut. 4 inches height, 6 inches the reach over Babley. 12 pounds heavier than him based on off their past the last fight that they were weighed in on, and he's at minus 175.
I'm gonna go dog right out the gate. I'm gonna take Abraham Babley. You mentioned he's coming off of a loss, which I think is affecting the odds kind of a lot here. But that loss was a very close split decision that I had actually thought he won. And I was holding a Slim Trabelsi ticket. And so, like, if you're holding a Slim Trabelsi ticket and you win it, but still didn't think he won, that's usually a pretty good indicator that I wasn't just watching it with rose-colored glasses for Abraham Babley. But, like, look, he's explosive on the takedowns. He does a really good job of getting to the hips. I think he's way faster than Nascimento in terms of the striking. Like, maybe he doesn't want to grapple with Zekamilia because, he's pretty tough in there. Nascimento is, and like, maybe you don't want to mix it up in the clinch. But, like, look, Nascimento doesn't have the best cardio. He went in there with Alexandr Romanov and didn't tire him out. If you don't have better cardio than Alexandr Romanov or better willpower than Alexandr Romanov, like, that's probably a question mark, right? And Romanov beat him pretty soundly. And so, like, I think Babley, you're going to see him get in on takedowns. You're going to see him wear down Nascimento. And, like, even if it does sort of stalemate there too, I really like the 1-2 he throws. He's light on the feet for a heavyweight. I'm going to go with Babley here.
All right. Babley is the pick. So, yeah. So he's the Boo Boo Bear. Is that his name? What's Yogi Bear's sidekick? Is it Boo Boo? I think it is.
Yogi.
Yogi Bear and Boo Boo Bear. Boo Boo, I think is his sidekick. And he's faster and he's smaller, but faster is what you're saying. Is what Babley is.
Yes.
Do you realize you said the alt title of our episode in that breakdown there? Did you?
I did not. I can't wait to see what it was.
Okay, good. All right, before we get into all of that, let me tell you about Edge Boost. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, earn cashback rewards, 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN, and when you deposit $25, Edge Boost will match the deposit. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And of course, we're brought to you by the mighty MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA playoffs, plus props for every game. For the true degens, the MyBookie money bag. Check it out. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations, easy deposits, and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Do they have Al Horford prop bets? You damn right. Do they have PFL lines? You damn right. They got it all. So head to MyBookie.ag. Use our promo code MMA SGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's MyBookie.ag. Promo code MMA SGPN. All right, we got a dog right out of the gate, which is good. Only 4 fights, so at least a quarter of them are going to be dog picks. We'll see where we go to next with our picks. It's going to be heavyweights. I guarantee you that. Linton Vassell from United Kingdom, or is he from Great Britain? I don't get the difference between all these. Why some of them have Great Britain, some of them have United Kingdom. Just have your country that you're
Aren't
from,
you supposed to salute the Queen too, since you're Canadian? Aren't you like?
I am Canadian.
Yeah,
you're
he's
from United Kingdom.
Yeah. Okay.
The Queen is dead, Gumby. Perhaps you've heard. The Queen is dead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, King. I guess King now.
It's not just the Smiths album. The Queen is actually dead in real life too. But yes,
cool.
The King Charles, Oleg Popov. He's fighting. So we got an OV. It took us 2 fights to get to an OV. This is, I guess, light heavyweight's pretty big on Russians too. I guess all of PFL is pretty big on Russians. They have the Russian market cornered. All right, 3 5-minute rounds. Let's break her down by telling you about Popov first. 19-2, 9 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been submitted once, 3-1 in PFL, 17-1 over his last 18. He did lose his last bout via submission. He went 1-0 in Bellator. He is a regional champion, not a multiple regional champion, sadly, just a regional champion. I lost my page. Sorry. 12-5. Nope, different guy. 2015 Pro MMA debut. 9 years younger than Vassell. Is he the dog, or did I swiftly?
Is he really the dog? He's a big favorite.
Okay. Yeah. He's a big favorite. He is minus 300. After I was reading, I'm like, no way Vassell can be the favorite here. All right. No. Vassell is the big swarm. 25-10 with 1 no contest, 10 knockouts, 9 submissions. He's been knocked out 5 times, submitted once. 1-2 in PFL. Loss over his last 3. 6-2 over his last 8. He did lose his last bout to Popov.
Oleg Popov.
Oleg Popov. There you go. So that's another reason why I should have noticed these odds were screwy. 12-5 in Bellator. Bellator never die. Regional champ. Used to fight at 205. Predominantly, he's moved up to heavyweight fairly recently. 2008 Pro MMA debut. 2 inches height, 4 inches reach over Popov, plus 200. So he is definitely the dog.
Yeah, it's got to be Popov here. He beat him 9 months ago. Yeah. That fight just happened, and it. First of all, I remember picking Vassell in that because I am. As I've come to it's worth it just to sit here and admit when you're a hater. I think it's good for the soul, maybe. But I am unabashedly an Oleg Popov hater. I think he's got no V at the end of his name, and people here seem to think he's the same as any of the other Russians that PFL has. I don't think he's that good, but like I doubted him against Vassell, and then I was like, he's not gonna be able to get the takedowns regularly. And guess what? He got takedowns whenever he wanted. I'll also add that I faded him in the finals and got Denis Goltsov at plus money, and that's when he got submitted. So, you win some, you lose some when you're a hater. But I'm going to win one with him here, despite my hatred of him. Again, I don't think, I don't think he's that. Well, that's what a hater does. Is that not what a hater does?
It's true. Haters hate. Yeah. Haters going to hate. Taylor Swift.
Haters gonna hate. But yeah, Popov to me, like his wrestling's just good enough to beat Linton Vassell, and he showed it 9 months ago. I don't know why we would go back and think it wasn't. I doubted it at first, but now like we've seen it in action. I don't know what Vassell's path to victory is here. Like he's not going to get his grappling going. He's not a particularly talented striker. He doesn't have better cardio than Popov. He seems to gas out pretty hard. I mean, maybe a sub off of his back is what we're looking for, but yeah, I'm taking Popov.
What was I going to say? I can't remember if I had something good. I was going to say, especially if they just fought and Vassell's like old, it's not like his game's going to change dramatically. Like, why would you pick against him? It makes no sense.
And he looks better having come up to heavyweight, but the one noticeable thing that has been worse for him is his cardio. Like, and that makes sense. Like you came up in weight and put weight on. Like, I don't expect your cardio to be better, but that's a problem when somebody's going to wrestle you for 15 minutes.
He's got extra muscle, and what happens then. So
yeah, that's right. They tire you.
Muscle tire you out. He's 41 as well. That could be part of it as well.
It's a problem.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. Actually, let's do one more. We'll do one more fight before I tell you about more exciting offers from our sponsors. Alexandr Romanov. He's from Moldova against Tim Johnson, aka Timothy Johnson, if you want to be precise, from United States of America. 3 5-minute rounds. Let's break her down. So we got another OV, but not technically Russian. Was Moldova part of Russia at some point? He's from Moldova, right? I got that right.
I don't want to answer that question confidently.
You don't know off the top of your head? No. All right, it's true. It could get you in trouble. All right, he's not a geography teacher, ladies and gentlemen. Let's break down. This one I know who the dog is. Don't you worry. Tim Johnson will tell you about first. 18-11, 10 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out 6 times, submitted twice. 1-2 in PFL. He has lost 2 straight. He's gone 3-2 over his last 5. That's better. 3-5 over his last 8. That's not better. Both of his past 2 losses have come via finish. 4-5 in Bellator. 4-3 in the UFC. So by MMA math says Bellator is a harder division than promotion than the UFC because his record was worse. Regional champ, 2010 pro MMA debut. An inch height, 3 inches reach over Romanov, plus 350. Romanov is King Kong. 18-3, 5 knockouts, 10 submissions. Been knocked out once, submitted once. This is his debut. 2-1 over his last 3, 2-3 over his last 5. He did win his last fight. 7-3 in the UFC. He's 5 years younger than Johnson. He's a wrestling medalist at, I think, the university level. I think it was silver world championship medalist, minus 450.
Yeah, that last one was Nascimento too, I do believe, in the UFC.
Right. Yeah.
You see, he won his last fight, but then fought out his contract, and it was, maybe we should say, not fun to watch that fight. I'm going to go with Romanov here, but I'm going to go with Romanov cautiously because maybe I don't like the, what is he, negative 450? I don't like the negative 450 line on him. That's pretty ridiculous. But the bottom line is that like the only fights that Alexandr Romanov has lost, and has looked bad doing so too, is when he starts to whiff on takedowns, panics, and like straight up gives up. I don't want to accuse anybody of quitting there, but like it is pretty clear. When he
sure looks like it.
When he is whiffing on takedowns, he's like, well, that's it for me, folks. And he like lays in the fetal position while somebody TKOs him. So like I worry about that against Tim Johnson because Tim Johnson's not a terrible wrestler, right? Tim Johnson has had some wrestling in the past. I actually used to like when he used it offensively more when he was in the UFC. But he's kind of gotten away from that. He's trying to hit you with, quick boxing, and his boxing's pretty good. It's definitely better than Romanov's. But he probably hasn't beaten a wrestler since, when did he beat Tyrell Fortune? Was that 2020? I want to say like February of 2020, right before the pandemic. He beat Tyrell Fortune. And like that's probably the last wrestler he beat, right? Like he lost to Nemkov, he lost to Moldavsky, he lost to Vassell. Like I mean, I guess like if you count the wrestling of Mitch Rion, maybe, but like nobody who is like a really good wrestler is he out there stuffing their takedowns, forcing them to box and beating. He seems to be losing to a lot of these wrestler types. And so like that tells me Romanov is going to have the success early that he needs. Johnson's coming off a submission loss. Romanov is a guy who's got arm triangles and all kinds of things in his basket. So, yeah, give me Romanov, but I am not throwing him in a parlay at negative 450.
Yeah, he lost to Fedor. He lost to Fedor, shockingly.
Yeah.
He got knocked out by Fedor. Crazy. And that wasn't that long ago. Fedor was still fighting not that long ago. All right, yeah. So we are in on Romanov. Another OV. Back-to-back OVs. We're going to win for sure this week. All right, before we get to main event time, it is time for Gumby's bonus underdog pick'em play for us for the episode. Underdog pick'em, you can play any sport and win up to 100 times your money.
Yeah, so the Braves are going to be playing on Monday. I believe they're heading to Coors Field for a showdown with the Rockies. Alex Verdugo is going to be our play this week. That's right. For those of you who didn't still know, Alex Verdugo is in the major leagues right now, and he's hitting 333 with the Braves. That's right, 333. He's coming off a 4-hit day on Sunday. Granted, the Braves lost, but a 4-hit day on Sunday. And he's going to be facing a right-handed pitcher, which is good news for the lefty Verdugo. I'll take the higher than on his total bases. If you wanted to get silly and go hits, runs, RBIs, I think he'd probably be there for that as well. But we'll take the higher than on his total bases.
All right. So take that Alex Verdugo play. You didn't expect us to say that name on this show, but you never know where we're going to head. And take our code MMA SGPN and claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. So underdogfantasy.com, promo code MMA SGPN. And we're brought to you by Rhythm, RITHMM. Rhythm is your home for AI back picks and props. Dominate the NBA playoffs and MLB prop market with Rhythm. Building your own model is simple and easy. Rhythm knows you'll love it, and that's why they include a 7-day free trial. Do they have Alex Verdugo models over there? I'm sure they do. They also have some amazing deals going on right now. 25% off a monthly subscription with promo code SGPN25 and 50% off an annual subscription with promo code SGPN50. That's RITHMM, promo code SGPN50 and or SGPN25. All right. The main event, not the main event, but the last heavyweight bout is the co-main event. Valentin Moldavsky, Russia versus Sergey Bilostenniy from Russia as well. A Russian versus Russian battle. Imagine that in PFL. Let's break it down. Bilostenniy, 13-3, 8 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted twice, 2-0 in PFL. That's part of a 2-fight winning streak, and he's won 8 of his last 9. He won his last bout via submission. He's not lost since April 2023. He went 1-1 in Bellator, 2015 Pro MMA debut, 3 years younger than Moldavsky, plus 145. Moldavsky's 13-4 with 1 no contest, 2 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out once. 1-1 in PFL. Loss, win, loss is the pattern for him. 2-3 with 1 no contest over his last 6. He went 7-2 with 1 no contest in Bellator, RIP. Used to fight at 205. 2015 Pro MMA debut. He's a multi-time Sambo world champion, minus 175.
I'm going to end this the same way I started it. I'm going to take an underdog here. I'm going to take Bilostenniy. And basically the reason for me here is like I went back and I watched Moldavsky's fights with Linton Vassell. And, you know, I was just talking about Linton Vassell kind of like not having a gas tank and, you know, sort of gassing out those big muscles that he's grown into at 265. But like the bottom line is that like Moldavsky didn't get his takedowns going early in that fight. He like really struggled to get Vassell to the ground. You know, they wound up pinned against the cage, trading positions over and over and over again early in that fight. And I think Bilostenniy is maybe better at takedown defense even than Linton Vassell. He certainly is less complacent when he falls to his back than Vassell is. So like that's already a good sign. Then on top of that, he's younger, he's faster than Moldavsky. And let me tell you something. This guy brings some of the weirdest shit in the world in terms of his striking. Like lots of spinning stuff, lots of jumping stuff. He always seems to be like trying to find a weird angle to throw a punch at. And like when you're a heavyweight like Moldavsky, who is just kind of like bread and butter, just like pin this guy against the cage, hold him there for 10 minutes, wear him out, and then ground and pound him. Like this guy is maybe your worst nightmare, you know, and on top of that too, like his submission skills shouldn't be slept on either. You know, he's coming off of his last fight was a heel hook victory, I'm pretty sure. He's coming off of a heel hook victory. He beat Tyrell Fortune, which shows he can kind of hang with the wrestlers and stuff like. By the way, that's maybe a name that's missing from this. Like we've talked about Tyrell Fortune.
Yeah,
I think 15 times on this episode already. Like maybe he should be in it too.
It's all losses though. We're talking about. That's the problem.
Yeah,
he lost to this guy. He lost to that guy.
Yeah, and he might be. Is he retired now? Maybe he would retire.
I don't know.
Something like that. But whatever. But yeah, Bilostenniy, like getting heel hooks, fighting wrestlers. Weird angles. I think all of that just is going to give trouble to Moldavsky, who is a little bit more simple in what he's looking to do. And like, I think while he's simple in looking what he likes to do, he also maybe doesn't have the nuance to get to it all the time. But his strength in Russian wrestling has always just kind of worked. I don't know that it'll work against another Russian. Give me Bilostenniy. We'll get some slight dog money here.
All right. Let's give you a recap, and then we're out of here. Quick one for you today. Bilostenniy, Romanov, Popov, and Babely. All right, who's winning the tournament? Play it out for us, Gumby.
Well, so I looked at the bracket, and it looks like Moldavsky, Bilostenniy's winner is going to fight Romanov versus Tim Johnson's winner. So for me, that means whoever wins that Russian main event is most likely waltzing their way into the finals because they're going to stuff Romanov a couple of times, and he's going to quit. On the other side... no hate. On the other side, I kind of like the idea of Babely upsetting Popov. I want to return to my my Popov hater roots after I had to pick him in one. So I'm gonna say his wrestling and maybe just overall speed is good enough to beat Popov. And then I'll take whatever Russian gets out of that main event to beat Babely. As much as I think Babely would be like a fun story and a run to the $500,000 now that they got the paycheck in half. Yep. $500,000. Gotta hate on PFL just a touch when we do these. But he would be like a fun person to win it. Babely would, because he's younger, he's less experienced. He's you don't see a lot of dominant, other than Tom Aspinall, a lot of dominant British heavyweights right now. So it'd be kind of a fun one.
All right. We are set. You are set. You can check us out in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Check us out on YouTube. If you're not currently, we're at, obviously the name of our show would be the MMA Gambling Podcast. Hit us up in the comment section. If you like, make sure you subscribe. That would help us out. On Twitter, SGPN MMA, Gumby runs that. He's at Gumby Breedland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer. Same as on Instagram for me, Jeff Fox Writer. Get into my Substack, enter my free UFC Pick'em contest every week at Money MMA. .substack.com. Gumby has another show called the Top Turtle MMA Podcast. It did not jinx Evan Elder. He came through for us yesterday. Who's on it this week, Gumby?
So we've got two guests for sure, and then maybe a surprise third. So the two guests that are for sure going to be on this week, Jillian Robertson, who's fighting in Des Moines. Fun stories about her getting into MMA with Dean Thomas, which is a lot of fun. So make sure you check that out. And then I'm also talking to Cameron Smotherman, who has some wild stories about what happened right before the UFC signed him. So two really fun interviews of people who are fighting in Des Moines this weekend.
All right, there you go. No one's ever been as excited about Des Moines as we are. So more on that soon in a few days. Obviously, sportsgamblingpodcast.com is the mothership. Check out all their stuff there. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store if you want to get cool gear like what I'm wearing right now, or my hat. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon to get some bonus content. Is it my turn to say goodbye, or is it your turn? I think it's mine.
I think it's your turn. It's
the one. We'll be back tomorrow. The one and only Jeff Fox and the big swarm, Gumby Breedland. We'll talk to you then.